Hi all, Shane here, Landland67. I haven't done the video in a while, so I said I'd do an inbox review of something a little bit different. I don't tend to do a lot of cars on my channel, and I bought this a while ago. I bought it in a local model shop. It's a Airfix 132 scale Ford Fiesta WRC, or RS WRC, and a Mini Countryman WRC. So a really nice little box set. Comes with your standard paints and glue that I suggest that you don't use, especially not the glue, that type of tube stuff, destroy your model. So it's 132 scale, which is, I don't know enough about cars, but I always believe most cars are 124th, but so this was built to be a project that got sidelined for various reasons, but it's about time to take it back out. So on the sides you have some nice CG renderings of the cars, a little bit of history, blah 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 blah. I don't know much about cars. I only bought this because I thought it'd be a cool little project with someone, and well, like now it looks like it's just gonna be an interesting project for myself, and also just for a weathering point of view, to weather cars is something different to the weathering tank. So I get to experiment with doing mud splatter and what have you. So it's a cool looking vehicles. Again, you have some very nice computer generated or CG renders of the vehicles. I actually thought these were photos of the models at first. They're so well done, but they're CG. Again, a bit more history, stats of the vehicles, what have you. Then the actual logos of Mini and Ford, so they're actually fully licensed vehicles. So let's have a look what you get. So I've already removed the sprues from the box, so we'll take this away and we'll put this up here. So let's have a look-see. So let's look at the instructions first. So here are the instructions. How much your so again, your history, warnings, just don't be basically stupid. Your standard Airfix style instruction manual. Nothing too crazy here. Detail appears to be pretty nice. Be pretty appropriate for a modeler who's built maybe one or two little kits and wants to try something a little bit more challenging, because this wouldn't be too difficult, but yet provide a small challenge for someone who's starting out. So I would have preferred, however, that if they included the booklet separately, so you could build. There's a case like you're doing like a buddy project with someone else and you're building in tandem, so you could like take out both instruction booklets and build together. But it's not a big thing. It's just something that made sense. You also get very nice decal and marking callouts. I actually really like these paint scheme callouts and decal callouts. Very clever the way it's done, with your 45 oblique angles of the vehicles in colour, so it gives you a good idea. Also shows how vibrant these vehicles are. The paints are supplied in Humbrol acrylic, I believe, which are actually a pretty good paint. That they do spray quite nicely, and the same for the Countryman. And once again, you have your painting markouts with the CG renders and in colour. So really nice. We'll have a look at the details at the end. That'll be the last thing. So let's have a look at. I'll figure out which is which now. Hang on. Okay, so we look at the Fiesta first. So they come in two bags. The body of the car is moulded in one piece. Nice detail, I have to say, very crisp. Well, probably might not be up there with, definitely not with Tamiya or Raval's kits are meant to be very good when it comes to vehicles as well. But this isn't bad. Injection pin marks in the inside, but you're not going to see any of them. Only real issue I find, or not even issue, but something that might prove to be an issue if someone wants to do a little bit more, is that the doors are moulded shut. So it'll be very difficult to open them up without damaging or snapping the body of the car. Other than that, again, very nice. No blemishes, no pin marks on the outer faces, which is always a good thing. So again, very nice. So we'll have a look, see what we get in the sprues. Now these are going to be somewhat simplified, but again, that's not a problem. because these are designed for kind of beginners or even just quick builds. So we look at the clear parts. Pretty nice. They are clear, a little bit thick. Nope, have to be on top apart. No sink marks or anything in the glass, which is always good. So, you know, pretty nice. Though a little bit thick, but with a bit of polishing and all that, you should get a nice kind of reflectiveness to them, or good clarity of depth, if you will. So we have a look here. We have the chassis, if you will, or the body of the car, as in the underside of the car. No detail on the bottom, so it's blank. But there is detail inside, like basic wiring and all that. It's a little bit blocky and just kind of more like representations, or rather than actual detail, if you get me. Roll cage looks pretty interesting. Might be a little bit tricky to put that together, but just take your time. What do we have here? Bucket seats for the driver and co-pilot, or navigator, or what the hell they're called. Pretty good. 2 pin marks that might need to be filled, but again, nothing too major. Unfortunately, it's blank. I don't know if that's realistic to the actual vehicle. I'm pretty sure there should be some type of padding or cushioning on that. But again, pretty good. Sorry, and you actually do get detail on the underside of the vehicle. So this part will sit on this. Sorry, okay. It's been a while since I looked at these kits. So you do have underside detail, so that is a good thing. That is a very good thing, actually. Suspension shocks are in, that's good. Braking discs. Steering wheel is pretty well represented. Though it's not one of those cool ones with the gears actually built into the wheel, like again F1. Pedals. So again, dashboard is pretty nicely done. It's a bit basic. You might want to add maybe a little bit of texture to that, because I know some of them have a textured finish on real vehicles. Here you got some more parts with the roll cage. Roll cage is delicate, so take care of removing that from the sprues, your wheel wells. One thing I'm not really that chuffed about is that the wheels are moulded in one piece, and you have very big seam marks on them, so that's going to take some careful sanding. Also, it's kind of a cool feature, the seat belts are actually moulded, they're interjector moulded. I haven't seen that done before. I personally, some people go, oh, that's going to be really thick, you might want to replace it with etch or even Tamiya tape. But comparing to most places just give you a decal for the seats, or for the seat harness. I prefer these any day because you have a bit of depth, even if it is overscaled. It still looks nice. Okay, so that's the Fiesta. Very nice little kit. Now this would build up into a nice little model with minimum work, and it'd be very interesting to paint these. So we'll have a look at my personal favourite of two, which is the Mini Countryman. I love modern minis, especially the Countryman. So I'm just gonna this down here for now. Okay, so same as the Fiesta, moulded one piece in kind of like off-white plastic. Injection pin marks inside the vehicle. No bearing on the outer faces, no sink marks, no pin marks. So again, very nice. There's a little bit of flash on this end here from one of the pin marks, so just a little bit of sanding there and it's good to go. So pretty well done. There is a little issue with this particular with this kit, and I'll draw your attention to it immediately. I looked at pictures of the real vehicle. You have these big ass sink marks moulded into the plastic, as in pin marks. You're not going to be able to get them out. They're actually moulded throughout the plastic. It's not just on the surface where you can maybe buff it back. This is moulded right in, and I thought maybe these were maybe like portholes or something like that, that maybe the real vehicle had perhaps. No, I mean that the window couldn't be opened, but they could remove that for ventilation. But looking at actual photos of the real Countryman WRC models, they don't appear to have them. So that is a bit disappointing, because that is a big shortfall. Like, is it going to stop me from building it? No. Am I going to just hope nobody notices? Yes. So again, that's just something to be aware of. And I looked around to see if there's any replacement windscreens for it, and there isn't. So that is a little bit of a disappointment. But let's move on and see what else. There is positives to this kit, of course. So again, like the Fiesta, you have seat belts molded, which is, I think, is a nice touch. Your dashboard with the big mini style speed gauges and what have you. The big disc lights, kind of cool. Clock faces, I call it. Again, wheels are molded in one piece. Not particularly a good thing in my view, but again, that's enough to throw me off this kit. Bit more detail this time molded in the bucket seats with a little bit of engraved detail, making it look like padding. So that'll help you paint it. Roll cage assemblies. These circles here are the back faces of the wheels. So the wheels and the windscreens are kind of the downside of these kits. But again, these were pretty cheap, like, so you know what I mean. Like, it's €24 for a 2-pack. It's you're not expecting a lot more detail. Even though this kit does have more detail than its Fiesta, than the Fiesta in the kit. This actually has inner detail for doors, which the other kit does not. So that's a nice little added bonus. The grills for the air intake, suspension arms, shocks, brake discs are all included. Separate windscreen wipers, so you can kind of articulate them, which is nice. Again, very delicate roll cages, so that needs to be handled with care. And these are all small kits, and you have 3 screws, so basic detail on the underside. There are interjection pin marks on the inside wheel wells. You can fill them, or even just do what I do. I just kick dirt inside there. You'll never see them with the wheel in place. Detail inside the cabin, or wherever the hell you want to call it. My knowledge of cars is pretty lacking, so I don't really care. If it doesn't have tracks in the gun, I don't know about it. I don't mean that to sound pretentious, but that's just the honest truth. Like, so you know, all these are nice little kits. They should build pretty quickly. And now actually that's one thing I need to show you, is the decals, which I have sealed away in here. So I bought this kit a couple of months back as a token of friendship with someone. So I thought, some more models for me. Anyway, okay. So here are decals. These aren't cartographs. Running your finger over, you can actually feel them, so they are quite thick. They are very shiny, so a lot of set and solution and lots of coats of flat or gloss varnish are going to be needed, or you're going to get serious silvering, in my opinion at least. It should be quite interesting. As you can see, what kind of rally or racing auto vehicles, there's a lot of deckling in these. You can actually see how much they're reflecting here. So I do not know how good the quality of these will be until we try to work on them, which we'll do in the near future. So that's just a quick update, or not quick, quick review, something different on the channel. I should be working on these in a while. Other builds, the ME109 is awaiting deckling. The Brumbar I haven't really touched, I haven't really felt the humour to go near it. T34 is kind of waiting to, I haven't really felt the humour. I'm working on some other stuff which I'm going to talk about in the channel update, which I'm actually going to make in a few minutes, and I'm going to do the announcing of the, I'll do a video too regarding the 300 subscriber competition too. So I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe, happy modelling, and watch out for those buses. Bye.